My wife said she lost attraction because I'm not traditional masculine man who hunts and fixes things around house. After I moved out, she started romance with Coworker, and now our daughters blame me for the divorce. I, 46F, need to start by saying my husband Lucas, 47M, is not a bad person. He has never cheated on me. He has never hit me or the girls. He works hard at his job as an insurance adjuster and brings home a decent salary. Our bills get paid on time. The girls have everything they need. When I tell people about my marriage, they usually say I'm lucky to have him. Lucas and I met in college. I was studying business administration and he was in accounting. We started dating in our junior year. He was different from the other guys I had dated before. He was calm and steady. He remembered things I told him. He showed up when he said he would. After college, we both got jobs in the same city. We dated for 3 more years before he proposed. The proposal was simple. He took me to dinner at a restaurant we both liked and asked me to marry him. I said yes because I thought he was the kind of man you build a life with. The first few years of marriage were fine. We bought a small house. We had our first daughter 2 years after the wedding. Lucas was good with her. He changed diapers without complaining. He got up in the middle of the night when she cried. When our second daughter was born 3 years later, he did the same thing. He took the girls to their activities. He helped them with homework. He packed their lunches when I was too tired. But somewhere along the way, something started bothering me. It was not one big thing. It was a lot of small things that piled up over the years. Lucas is not what most people would call handy. When something breaks in the house, he tries to fix it, but he usually makes it worse. Last year, the kitchen faucet started leaking. He spent 3 hours trying to fix it with videos from the internet. By the time he gave up, water was spraying everywhere and we had to call a plumber. The plumber charged us double because he had to undo everything Lucas had done first. The same thing happened with the fence in the backyard. Lucas tried to replace some rotten boards. Half of them fell off a week later. We ended up hiring someone to redo the whole section. Lucas does not have the kinds of hobbies other men his age seem to have. He does not hunt or fish. He does not work on cars. He does not watch much sports on television. When the girls were younger and wanted to try different activities, he took them camping twice and to a baseball game once. But it was clear he was doing it for them and not because he enjoyed it. He came home from the camping trip and said he was glad we had running water and a real bed. After the baseball game, he said the seats were uncomfortable and the food was overpriced. I kept telling him he needed a hobby. Something that was his own. For years, he said he was fine just reading books and watching cooking shows. Then about 4 years ago, he started collecting baseball cards. Not even real vintage cards that might be worth something. He buys new packs and boxes of cards from the current season. He organizes them in binders. He spends hours looking at them and reading about the players online. He joins online groups where people talk about their collections. He has a whole closet in the basement dedicated to his cards. When I ask him why he does it, he says it relaxes him. Lucas also does a lot of the cooking in our house. He enjoys it. He watches cooking videos and tries new recipes. On weekends, he makes elaborate breakfasts with pancakes or omelets. He makes dinner most nights during the week. I used to cook when we first got married, but I stopped because he seemed to like doing it more than I did. People think this is great. My friends say they wish their husbands cooked. But it makes me uncomfortable in a way I cannot fully explain. It feels like something is reversed. He also cleans more than I do. He does the laundry without being asked. He vacuums and mops. He wipes down the kitchen counters every night. When people come over, the house is clean because of him, not me. Again, people say I am lucky. They joke that they want to trade husbands. But I do not feel lucky. I feel like something is missing. Our bedroom situation is another problem. We have not stopped having relations completely, but it happens maybe once every 2 or 3 weeks. When it does happen, it is fine. There is nothing wrong with the mechanics of it. But I want him to take more control. I want him to initiate more. I want him to be more assertive. I have never told him this directly because I do not know how to say it without it sounding like criticism. So I just go along with how things are. Lucas is a big man physically. He is over 6 feet tall. He has broad shoulders. He used to play football in high school before he hurt his knee. When we go places, people notice him. He has presence. But the way he acts does not match how he looks. He is soft-spoken. He apologizes too much. When we are at a restaurant and the server gets our order wrong, he just eats whatever they bring instead of sending it back. When someone cuts him off in traffic, he just lets it go. He never raises his voice. I have been married to him for over 2 decades and I can count on one hand the number of times I have heard him yell. I know these complaints sound terrible when I write them out like this. Lucas has not done anything wrong. He is faithful. He provides. He is kind to me and the girls. But I cannot shake this feeling that I want him to be more of something. More decisive. More commanding. More traditionally masculine, I suppose. I want to walk into a room and feel proud that he is mine in a different way than I do now. I want other people to see him and think he is impressive for reasons beyond being nice and reliable. I talked to my sister about this a few months ago. She told me I was being ridiculous. She said I should be grateful because her husband does not lift a finger around the house and has a drinking problem. She said I was looking for problems where there were none. But the feeling did not go away. If anything, it got stronger. A few weeks ago, I was putting away laundry in our bedroom. Lucas was downstairs organizing his baseball cards. Our youngest daughter was at a friend's house and our oldest was at college. I looked around the room and saw the pile of his card collection magazines on his nightstand. I saw his reading glasses sitting on top of them. I saw his slippers lined up neatly by the closet. And something in me broke. I sat down on the bed and stayed there for 20 minutes just staring at the wall. That night after Lucas went to sleep, I sat up and wrote out a list of all the things that bothered me. I did not know what I was going to do with the list. I just needed to see it written down. The list was 2 pages long. When I read it over, I saw how petty some of it sounded. But some of it felt legitimate to me. The problem was I did not know which parts were which anymore. I have been walking around for weeks trying to figure out if I should say something to Lucas or if I should just accept that this is what my marriage is. People tell me marriage is about compromise. People tell me that after 22 years, you cannot expect fireworks. But I do not want fireworks. I just want to feel like I am married to someone who acts like the kind of man I thought I was going to spend my life with. Instead, I am married to someone who spends his evenings sorting baseball cards and looking up recipes for sourdough bread. I do not know if this makes me a bad person. I do not know if this means I do not love my husband. I do know that I cannot keep going like this without at least trying to talk to him about it. But I also do not know how to start that conversation without destroying everything we have built. Update 1. I talked to Lucas. It did not go the way I expected. After I made my original post, I spent about a week reading the comments and thinking about what I wanted to say. Some people told me I was being shallow. Some people said I had legitimate concerns. Some people said I should just leave him if I was so unhappy. That last group made me realize that I did not want to leave. Despite everything I wrote, I did not want a divorce. I wanted Lucas to change some things so I could feel differently about our marriage. I picked a Saturday evening to talk to him. Both girls were out. Our oldest was still at college and our youngest was sleeping over at a friend's house. Lucas had just finished cleaning up after dinner. He made lasagna from scratch. It was good. He was in a decent mood. He asked if I wanted to watch a movie with him. I said I wanted to talk first. We sat down on the couch in the living room. I had gone over what I wanted to say probably 50 times in my head. I started by telling him that I loved him and that he was a good father. Then I told him that some things had been bothering me for a while and I needed to be honest with him about them. I mentioned the baseball cards. I mentioned the cooking and cleaning. I mentioned wanting him to be more assertive in our personal life. I tried to say it all as gently as I could. I did not want to attack him. I wanted him to understand where I was coming from. Lucas sat there and listened. His face did not change. He did not interrupt me. He did not ask questions. When I finished talking, he just kept sitting there. The silence went on for at least 2 or 3 minutes. I asked him if he had anything to say. He did not respond. I asked him again. Still nothing. I started getting frustrated. I told him he had to say something. He finally looked at me and said he did not know I felt this way. Then he went quiet again. I asked him what he was thinking. He said he needed time to process. I asked him if he was angry. He said no. I asked him if he understood what I was asking for. He said yes. Then he stood up and went downstairs to the basement. He stayed down there for the rest of the night. When I went to bed, he was not there. He slept on the couch in the basement. The next morning, he was already awake when I came downstairs. He had made coffee and was sitting at the kitchen table with his laptop. I asked him if we could talk more. He said he did not have anything to add right now. He said he heard what I said and he needed to think about it. Then he went for a walk. He was gone for over an hour. For the next week, things were tense. Lucas and I talked about practical things like bills and the girls' schedules, but we did not talk about our conversation. He still cooked and cleaned. He still went to work. But there was a distance between us that had not been there before. He slept in the basement 3 nights that week. I did not push him to come back upstairs. I figured he needed space. About 10 days after our talk, I was at work and mentioned the situation to a coworker named Brian. Brian is around my age. He has been divorced for 5 years. I did not give him all the details, but I told him I had a difficult conversation with Lucas and things had been weird since then. Brian said men sometimes shut down when they feel criticized. He said Lucas was probably hurt and trying to figure out what to do next. He said I should give Lucas more time but also make it clear that I could not just sit in limbo forever. He suggested I set some kind of timeline for when we needed to talk again. That made sense to me. When I got home that evening, Lucas was making spaghetti. I told him I wanted us to have another conversation by the end of the week. I said we could not just avoid this forever. He nodded but did not say anything else. The end of the week came and went. Lucas did not bring it up. I did not bring it up either because I did not want to start a fight. Another week passed. Then another. We were going through the motions of being married but not actually dealing with anything. Our youngest daughter asked me if something was wrong between me and her dad. I told her everything was fine. She did not look convinced. I talked to Brian at work again. He asked what happened with the timeline. I told him Lucas had ignored it. Brian said that was not fair to me. He said if Lucas was not willing to engage, then maybe I needed to consider what that meant for the future of the marriage. He said sometimes people stay in relationships out of habit instead of love. That comment stuck with me. I started thinking about what life would look like if Lucas and I separated. The girls were almost grown. Our oldest would graduate from college in 2 years. Our youngest would be done with high school in 3 years. The house was paid off. We could split everything without too much trouble. The thought did not make me feel good, but it also did not make me feel as bad as I expected. Mostly I just felt tired. About a month after our initial conversation, I was doing laundry and found Lucas's phone on the dryer. He had left it there by accident. I do not normally go through his phone, but something made me pick it up. It was not locked. I opened his messages. There was nothing suspicious. Most of the messages were from me, the girls, or his coworkers. But then I saw a message thread with someone named Amy. I did not recognize the name. I opened it. The messages were from about 2 weeks earlier. Lucas had sent her a long paragraph about how his wife had told him she was not attracted to the person he had become. Amy had responded with several messages. She said she was sorry he was going through that. She said he deserved better. She said his wife sounded ungrateful. Lucas had responded by thanking her for listening. The conversation went on for a while. Amy said if he ever wanted to talk more, she was around. Lucas said he appreciated that. I put the phone back on the dryer. My hands were shaking. I did not know who Amy was. I did not know how Lucas knew her. I went upstairs and waited for him to come home from the grocery store. When he walked in, I asked him who Amy was. His face went pale. He asked how I knew about her. I told him I saw the messages on his phone. He set down the groceries and said she was someone he met online through one of his baseball card groups. They had started talking a few months ago about cards and then about other things. He said it was nothing romantic. He said she was just a friend. I asked him why he had told her about our conversation instead of talking to me. He said he did not know what to say to me. He said Amy was easier to talk to because she did not expect anything from him. That made me angrier than anything else he could have said. I told him that I was his wife and if he had things to say, he should say them to me. He said he did not think I wanted to hear what he had to say. I asked him what that meant. He said he did not want to have this conversation right now. Then he left the house. He did not come back for 3 hours. When he came back, he went straight to the basement. I followed him down there. I told him we were going to talk whether he wanted to or not. He sat down on the couch and looked at the floor. I asked him what he meant earlier when he said he did not think I wanted to hear what he had to say. He said that I had made it clear I was not happy with who he was. He said he did not see the point in explaining himself because nothing he said was going to change my mind. I told him that was not fair. He said it was how he felt. I asked him if he wanted to save our marriage. He said he did not know anymore. He said he had spent the last month trying to figure out what I wanted from him and he kept coming back to the same conclusion, which was that I wanted him to be someone else. He said he could not be someone else. He said he tried that for the first 10 years of our marriage and he was tired of pretending. That caught me off guard. I asked him what he meant by pretending. He said he was not going to get into it. Then he asked me to leave him alone. I went back upstairs. I called Brian and told him what happened. He said it sounded like Lucas was deflecting blame and trying to make me feel guilty. He said the fact that Lucas was talking to another woman, even if it was just online, was a red flag. He said I should consider talking to someone about my options. I asked him what he meant. He said maybe I should talk to a lawyer just to see where I stood if things did not work out. I told him I was not ready for that yet. He said I should at least think about it. Update 2. Lucas moved out 2 weeks ago. It started about a week after my last update. Things between us had gotten worse. We were barely speaking. He was sleeping in the basement every night. Our youngest daughter had stopped asking me if everything was okay and started asking when her dad was going to move out. I did not know what to tell her. One night, I went downstairs to get something from the laundry room. Lucas was sitting on the couch with his laptop. I glanced at the screen and saw he was looking at apartments. I asked him what he was doing. He said he was exploring options. I asked him if he was planning to move out. He said he thought it might be better for both of us if we had some space. I told him that was not something he should decide on his own. He said I had already decided it when I told him I was not attracted to him anymore. I told him that was not what I said. He closed the laptop and told me we could talk about it later. We did not talk about it later. 2 days after that, Lucas told me he had found a small apartment about 15 minutes away. He said he was going to move out that weekend. I asked him if this was temporary or permanent. He said he did not know. He said he needed to figure some things out and he could not do that while living in the same house as me. I asked him what about the girls. He said he would still see them regularly and nothing about his relationship with them would change. Our youngest daughter cried when Lucas told her he was moving out. She asked him if he and I were getting divorced. He said he did not know. She asked him if it was because of something she did. He said no and hugged her. Our oldest daughter came home from college that weekend to say goodbye before he left. She did not cry but she did not talk much either. She helped him pack his clothes and some of his books. She did not help him pack his baseball cards. He left those in the basement. The first week after Lucas moved out was strange. The house felt empty even though our youngest daughter was still there. I cooked dinner for the first time in years. I burned the chicken. My daughter ordered pizza and did not say anything about it. Lucas came by 3 times that week to see her. He took her out for ice cream once and to a movie another time. Each time, he did not come inside. He just waited in the driveway and texted her that he was there. I kept talking to Brian at work. He asked how I was holding up. I told him it was hard but maybe it was for the best. He said separation could be healthy. He said it gave both people time to figure out what they really wanted. He offered to take me out for coffee after work one day just to get my mind off things. I said okay. We went to a coffee shop near our office. We talked for about an hour. Brian told me about his divorce. He said his ex-wife had blindsided him by asking for a divorce out of nowhere. He said he wished she had just told him what was wrong so they could have tried to fix it. He said communication was the most important thing in a relationship. I told him that I had tried to communicate with Lucas and it had not worked. He said maybe Lucas was just not capable of having those kinds of conversations. He said some people are not built for deep emotional connection. I did not know if that was true about Lucas or not. Brian and I started getting coffee together once or twice a week. It was nice to talk to someone who did not judge me. He listened when I vented about Lucas. He told me I was not a bad person for wanting more from my marriage. He said I deserved to be with someone who made me feel desired and appreciated. I did not disagree with him. About 3 weeks after Lucas moved out, our youngest daughter told me she wanted to stay with him for the weekend. I said that was fine. After she left on Friday evening, the house felt even emptier than before. I texted Brian and asked if he wanted to get dinner. He said yes. We went to a restaurant downtown. We split a bottle of wine. We talked about work and our kids and life in general. It felt easy. At the end of the night, he walked me to my car. He said he had a good time. I said I did too. Then he leaned in and kissed me. I did not stop him. I drove home in a daze. When I got there, I sat in the driveway for 20 minutes just staring at the garage door. I did not know what I was doing. I did not know if what had happened with Brian was something I wanted or something I just let happen because I was lonely. I went inside and poured myself a glass of wine. Then I poured another one. Then I went to bed. The next morning, my oldest daughter called me. She said she needed to tell me something. She said Lucas had told her about Amy. She said he had explained that Amy was just a friend but that he understood if it looked bad. My daughter said she believed him. She said she had talked to Lucas a lot over the past few weeks and he seemed lost. She said he told her he did not know how to fix things with me and he did not know if I even wanted him to try. She asked me what I wanted. I told her I did not know anymore. Then my daughter said she heard from her sister that I had been spending time with someone from work. She did not say his name, but I knew she meant Brian. She asked me if that was true. I told her we were just friends. She said it did not sound like just friends from what her sister had described. I asked what her sister had told her. She said her sister saw me getting coffee with some guy multiple times and it looked like more than a casual thing. I told her she was reading too much into it. She said she hoped so because it would not be fair to Lucas if I was moving on while he was still trying to figure out if there was a chance for us. After I got off the phone, I felt sick. I texted Brian and told him we should not have kissed. He responded a few hours later and said he understood. He said he got carried away and it would not happen again. He said we could still be friends. I did not respond. Lucas came by the next day to drop off our youngest daughter. He came inside for the first time since he moved out. He said he wanted to talk. We sat down in the living room. He said our oldest daughter had told him about Brian. He asked me if there was something going on between us. I told him no. He asked if I was sure. I said yes. He did not look like he believed me, but he did not push it. Then Lucas said he had been doing a lot of thinking. He said he realized that he had been angry at me for a long time. He said when I told him I wanted him to change, it brought up feelings from earlier in our marriage when he had tried to be someone he was not. He said he spent years trying to impress me and it never seemed like enough. He said he finally gave up and decided to just be himself. He said he thought I had accepted that, but clearly he was wrong. I asked him what he meant by trying to impress me. He said that when we first got married, he used to do things he thought I wanted him to do. He said he tried to act more confident. He tried to fix things around the house even though he was not good at it. He tried to watch sports even though he found them boring. He said it was exhausting and it made him miserable. He said he stopped doing those things about 10 years ago and our marriage had been better since then, or at least he thought it had been. I did not know what to say to that. I did not remember him being any different 10 years ago. Or maybe I did and I just did not want to admit it. Lucas said he was not moving back in right now. He said he needed more time. He said he would keep seeing the girls regularly. He said we could figure out the rest later. Then he left. Update 3. Lucas and I are getting divorced. It became clear over the past 2 months that there was no path forward for us. We tried talking a few more times, but every conversation ended the same way. We were both hurt. We both felt misunderstood. Neither of us trusted the other anymore. The breaking point came about 3 weeks ago. Our youngest daughter told Lucas that she saw me and Brian together at a restaurant. She said it looked like we were on a date. Lucas called me and asked if it was true. I told him yes. I told him that after he moved out, Brian and I had gotten closer. I told him nothing physical had happened beyond one kiss, but I admitted that I had feelings for Brian. Lucas hung up on me. He called me back an hour later. He said he wanted a divorce. He said he was done trying to figure out what I wanted because it was clear I had already moved on. I told him that was not fair. I told him he had been talking to Amy and that was just as bad. He said Amy was never anything more than a friend and I knew that. He said what I did with Brian was different because Brian was someone I saw in person and someone I had turned to instead of working on our marriage. I did not argue with him because he was right. We told the girls the next day. Our oldest daughter said she was not surprised. Our youngest daughter cried. She asked if we could try to work things out. Lucas said no. She asked why not. He did not give her a reason. He just said sometimes things do not work out the way you want them to. Lucas filed for divorce 2 weeks ago. We are working out the details now. The house will be sold. We will split the money. Our youngest daughter will live with me during the week and with Lucas on weekends until she graduates from high school. After that, she can do whatever she wants. Our oldest daughter said she is going to stay at college and come home as little as possible because it is too hard to be around both of us. I have not talked to Brian much since everything came out. He texted me a few times asking how I was doing. I responded once and said I needed space. He has not texted since then. I do not know if I want to pursue anything with him or if he was just a distraction from my failing marriage. People at work know about the divorce now. Some of them have been supportive. Some of them have not. I heard through a mutual friend that people think I left Lucas for Brian. I tried to explain that it was more complicated than that, but I do not think anyone believes me. Maybe it does not matter what they believe. Lucas came by last week to get the rest of his things from the basement. He took his baseball cards. He took some books. He took a box of old photos from before we had kids. I watched him carry everything out to his car. He made 3 trips. On the last trip, he stopped at the door and looked at me. He did not say anything. Then he left. Our youngest daughter asked me last night if I was happy now. I did not know how to answer that. She said her dad seems sad all the time. She said he still cooks for himself but he does not seem to enjoy it anymore. She said his apartment is small and does not feel like home. She asked me if it was worth it. I told her I did not know. I think about that question a lot. I wanted Lucas to be different. I wanted him to be more assertive and more traditionally masculine. I wanted to feel a certain way about my marriage that I did not feel. I got what I wanted in a sense. Lucas is out of my life. I can start over. But starting over at 46 after 22 years of marriage is not what I thought it would be. The house is going on the market next month. I will have to find a new place to live. I will have to split holidays with Lucas. I will have to explain to people why my marriage ended. I do not think I am the villain in this story, but I do not think I am the hero either. I just think I am someone who wanted something different and did not realize what I would lose in trying to get it. Lucas is not perfect. Our marriage was not perfect. But it was ours. And now it is over.